Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me on News Today on Abia Television, and I am Ogochukwu Wasai. Top stories this afternoon: Abia State local government election have been delayed, leaving voters and ad hoc officials waiting at polling units. In Abuja, Vice President Shettima inaugurates National Flood, Erosion and Drought Council. On Business News Today, we take a look at highlights from Abia Business Morning this week. On the foreign scene, U.S. Supreme Court dismisses efforts by Republicans to prevent the counting of provisional ballots. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. Now, beginning from Abia State, where Abia State local government election, originally scheduled for 8 a.m., has faced significant delays at about 10 a.m. Many areas in the state, particularly Aba and Umuahia, are yet to receive election officials and voter materials. As a result, ad hoc staff and voters are left stranded, waiting for the electoral process to commence.
Okay. What position are you occupying?
Yes, I was the last PDP world chairman before the Congress was held last month.
Okay, what position are you occupying?
The position I'm occupying is agent for this polling unit.
For which party?
Also for PDP 001 polling unit.
For which party?
For PDP.
Okay. Okay, and what is the name of this particular polling unit?
The unit is 001 Ishikot.
001 Ishikot. So are you ready to vote?
We are ready, highly ready. You can see my agent card.
Okay. All right. But then the materials are supposed to be here by now. The voting ought to have commenced.
We are waiting for the materials. They said they are on their way.
Thank you very much for talking to me. Tell me your name again.
My name is Ezebo Samuel Chukwadi.
Thank you.
I'm from Ezala village, Odumaya.
Thank you.
That number of voters are seen stranded, waiting for the ABSEC officials and electoral voting materials to arrive.
Good morning. My name is Uwondo Chukwemeka Emmanuel. I'm an NYC Youth Corper, posted to Umuahia North here. And if you can look behind me, I'm here for the local government election that is to be held today. Now, I applied for the position of an ad hoc staff, poll clerk to be precise. But since morning, we've been here since 5 a.m. and up to now, the electoral papers are not yet dispatched to all the polling units. Now, one of the reasons for this is because of poor improper planning management. Now, normally all of this was supposed to have been done yesterday, so that by this morning at least by 6 a.m., everybody would have been at their polling units respectively to begin the elections properly. But up till now, at my time 9:30, the polling election papers are still here. So my opinion on this election, actually, to be sincere, is quite low. It's poor. Please, the state government should work on this properly. They should prepare and plan ahead of the elections, be it state, local government, whatever election they are to have. They should start as early as possible. Thank you very much.
Still here at Umuahia North Local Government Council, where we have loud crowd of people waiting to get electoral materials to be conveyed to the various polling units. Here with me is...
my name is Mr. Godwin Owadleke, Godwin Chidebere Owadleke. I'm a presiding officer from Umuahia North Local Government. By the grace of God, INEC gave me the opportunity to work for them. Here in Umuahia North Urban Ward, Booth 11. So we are here waiting for the electoral materials. It has been going smoothly. Honestly, today's election looks different from others. It's well organized. Things is moving normal. So there's no much complaint. We're waiting for the ABSEC to do their job, and they are doing it perfectly. Honestly, it's not noisy. You can see it's not noisy. Everything is going normal.
Dr. Stanley Ndwago, a virtual guest on Eastern Eye Special, with Natalie Uku and Alex Obodo at about 10:40 a.m. confirmed that the election is no different from the normal elections we witness in Nigeria, with many voters feeling disappointed and their expectations unmet. Dr. Nduago highlighted the poor organization of the election, noting that the several polling units do not have result sheets. And up until now, voting has not started properly in Abia State. Now, away from that to Ebonyi State, where Ebonyi State government has trained 200 youths on agribusiness as part of its effort to boost food security and youth development. In a statement, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Monday Ozo, notes that Governor Francis Nwifuru has encouraged the participants to engage in large-scale farming to enhance their well-being. Youth, comprising 171 ward councillors and 29 others, graduated from the 2024 Innovative and Integrated Agricultural Value Chains Agricultural Business Training, where they were trained in the areas of poultry, fishery, and rice production, among others. Now to Anambra State. The Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mekfor, has visited the Commissioner of Police, Anambra State, CP Nahe Obono-Itam, to discuss ways to enhance security in the state, particularly through the adequate training and profiling of vigilante operatives. During the meeting, Mekfor emphasized the importance of proper training and profiling of vigilante personnel by the police to improve information flow and enhance their overall effectiveness in maintaining security. Dr. Mekfor commended the effort of the police in combating crime, but expressed concern about the need for better profiling of vigilante operatives in the state. On his part, the Commissioner of Police, CP Obono-Itam, welcomed the Commissioner's suggestions and pledged to restructure operations related to vigilante activities and other security initiatives in the state. Still on the Southeast region, former President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, late Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, was laid to rest in his hometown in Ikeduru on Friday. The great patriarch died on July 25, 2024 at age 82 after a brief illness. Our correspondent in Owerri, Miriam Munyubuli, was at the funeral and now reports.
On arrival to his hometown at Umuohi Ata, Ikeduru, his body was received by his family, kinsmen, Ikeduru Ezeship Council, and Ohanaeze Ndigbo. From there, mourners proceeded to Cathedral of St. Matthew Ata for his funeral mass. Some attendees of the funeral include the Governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, Senator Rochas Okorocha, and Chief Ikedo Hakim, who are past governors of the state. Other dignitaries like former presidential candidate Peter Obi, Governor Alex Oti of Abia State, and former First Lady of Nigeria, then Patience Jonathan, were also present. Speaking at his funeral service, Imo Governor Hope Uzodimma, as well as other noble figures, described late Iwuanyanwu as a great man who achieved several feats in his lifetime. He also announced that the Imo International Conference Center, which is under renovation, will now be named after the late patriarch. Family members of the late chief also have good testimonies about him.
He was a great man, a great brother. He's like a father figure to me because my mother died when I was so little. He raised me up. I'm like his daughter. He's a wonderful man, a caring man, a loving man, a man with good heart, a man who can give up anything he has to make sure people are happy, a man who don't want to see anybody suffer, a man of peace, a man who says the truth, a fearless man. He will tell you the truth no matter how he is. A man who stands with love, who believes in family, who believes in unity, a man who believed to work and fight for his country. A man, he died fighting for his country. I'm so proud to be part of his life.
Council members of Ohanaeze Ndigbo described him as a remarkable fellow.
He's my papa, and I admire him so much. A philanthropist and a man of many hats. His death has created a vacuum in the state of Ndigbo.
Person, you know, before I never knew him
maybe so close until he came to Ohanes Ndigbo. And he was the man that came and put every other things right. You know, the youth wing is now enjoying the position they are gaining now because of him. You know, and he brought peace to Alibi. He united so many people, he consulted widely. And today we are giving him a celebration of life. And we are so proud that we saw him and we met him at the right age. You know, I know he died a fulfilled man. So that is why we are celebrating with him today.
Late Chief Iwanya will be always be remembered for achieving many feats in philanthropy, politics, and emancipation of the Igbo ethnic group. In Owerri, Miriam Onyebule for Afia TV.
Thank you, Miriam, for that report. And now we'll take a quick break. When we return, more stories on the news. Please stay.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence. You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breast life. The frequency of breastfeeding determines the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Many thanks for staying tuned to Afia TV News Today, reaching you live from Enugu State, Nigeria. And I am Ogochukwu Osai. Now to the national news. Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the National Flood, Erosion and Drought and Desertification Management Council. Speaking during the inauguration at the Presidential Villa, the Vice President stressed the need for a unified response to natural disasters that have increasingly impacted Nigeria. The Council's mandate is to establish a comprehensive approach to combating the growing challenges of environmental and climate-induced disasters, focusing on collaborative efforts across Nigerian agencies and regions. Similarly, Vice President Kashim Shettima has declared the Nigerian government's resolve to position the nation among the top 80 countries on the Global Human Capital Index by building a healthier, better educated, and empowered Nigeria. Vice President Shettima states this while inaugurating the HCD 2.0 strategy during a meeting of the Steering Committee of the Human Capital Development Program at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He says the task is ambitious but quite achievable, calling on all Nigerians, including policymakers and community leaders, to embrace the Human Capital Development Program. Still on the nation, Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has called on the Military High Command to work as a team to secure the country peacefully. The defense chief made the call during the formal taking over ceremony of the newly appointed acting chief of army staff, Major General Lufemi Oluyede, in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. General Christopher Musa stressed that Major General Oluyede will act until the president of the country decides otherwise.
That's never happened in the history of the armed forces of Nigeria. But as human beings, we know situations will always present itself, and what is done with the situation is what makes the difference. Our brother and our friend, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Biodun Lagbaja, went on his leave and went for his medical checkup and had reasons to stay behind to continue to do his medical checkup. It is our prayers that he will get better, fit enough to resume back as the Chief of Army Staff. In the interim, based on the powers conferred on the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, he has decided and directed and appointed an acting Chief of Army Staff with the full powers and responsibilities of the Chief of Army Staff until the President decides otherwise.
He congratulated him on his appointment and implored him not to rest on his laurels, in assuring that he justifies the confidence imposed on him by the President, Commander-in-Chief.
You have to note that your selection was based on your vast knowledge of military leadership at all levels, character and competence. You are a member of a larger team of professional soldiers who are saddled with the responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by land, sea, and air as captured in our Constitution. It is therefore expected of you to consolidate and improve on the course of the substantive Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, as well as past Chief of Army Staff, in order to sustain the high level of professionalism, discipline, resilience, and regimentation that the Nigerian Army is known for all over the world. While I congratulate you on your appointment, I implore you not to rest on your oars in ensuring that you justify the confidence reposed on you by the President, Commander-in-Chief. Congratulations once again, and God bless.
In his remarks after the completion of the signing of the taking over notes, General Olukayode promised to hold sway as acting COAS till the return of Lieutenant General Taoreed Abiodun Lagbaja, who is the substantive Chief of Army Staff, and solicits prayers for his speedy recovery and safe return to complete the excellent job started.
Made as acting Chief of Army Staff, simply to hold sway while Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, Chief of Army Staff, is a way to enable him to take sufficient time to get necessary medical attention and recuperate. And that I intend to do with the whole of my heart and loyalty to the Constitution, as well as Mr. President, and by extension to my leader, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, that I have been mandated to stand in for. As we journey through this unique period, I request that we all continue to pray for General Lagbaja's speedy recovery and safe return to complete the excellent job we have started. Furthermore, I seek everyone's support and cooperation so that we can succeed together in stemming all forms of insecurity currently being witnessed across the country.
Till his appointment, Acting Chief of Army Staff Oluyede served as the 56th Commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1992 with retroactive effect from 1987. He later rose to Major General in September 2020. Now on to business news. Afia Business Morning this week with Obon King's Afia Business Bureau Chief led an in-depth analysis on key issues affecting Southeast, from conversations around Afia TV's 1 billion naira advert grant, advertising regulations, participation of Undibo in national programs, persistent power issues in Nigeria, to CNG permeation in the Southeast. Let's take a look.
Obuzo, we are not just giving them the adverts, we are also teaching them the value, what it means, what it's going to do to their business, so that they appreciate what we are offering more. So it's a sensitization process. You know, we are giving you the incentive, the grant. We're also teaching you to understand the value of what we are offering, so that once you use it, you see the value and get to appreciate it more. Every business that is registered in Southeast, so if you're operating from Southeastern region, you are eligible to participate.
Before any billboard is put out there, the advert itself must be vetted and approved by the ASP, which is statutory in ACON. It must be vetted. Before any advert is put out there, any advert on radio, TV, press, outdoor, on the social media, there must be an approval.
We're currently focused on getting businesses on board.
Okay.
So there are already like an existing pool of fellows who have applied, right? Who we are trying to like clear up before opening up for new fellows.
NJFP is ready to help your business grow through funding you with fellows. So what you simply need to do is to go on the NJFP website and apply.
But if you want to get a balanced market indices, let us have monopoly killed. If we can issue licenses to, let's say, 3 or 4 power generation companies in Enugu State or in Southeast, for goodness sake, we're going to get it a bit better.
But when you are looking at the Southeast, like I stated earlier, you understand they are still, booting or walking up to you. I want to urge our Ndibo that they should see how Iko Tuonye doesn't go far, but Igwebike is the ultimate. When you do statistics, you see that majority of the customers comes outside the Southeast. Is not really.
We'll take a break now. When we return, more on News Today. Please stay.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on your. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single. For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Welcome back to News Today on Afia Television. I am Ogochukwu Osai. Now to the foreign scene. The U.S. Supreme Court has dismissed a Republican attempt to block the counting of provisional ballots in Pennsylvania. Republicans argue that the tens of thousands of votes could be affected in a state narrowly won by Joe Biden in the 2020 election. The ruling is seen as a victory for voting rights advocates who pushed for countings, particularly Republican-led ones, to allow provisional ballots on Election Day. Still on the international front, at the world's largest nature protection conference in Cali, Colombia, 196 countries agreed on Friday to establish a permanent body under the UN's Biodiversity Convention to represent indigenous people. Delegates in traditional attire celebrated as the decision was announced, creating a subsidiary body to address issues impacting indigenous communities. This agreement marks a major milestone at the COP16, which began 2 weeks ago and extended as delegates debated funding for nature prevention efforts. Now to the world of sports. Ruben Amorim has been named as the new manager of the Manchester United, replacing the sacked Erik ten Hag. The 39-year-old Portuguese coach, who won the 2 Primeira Liga titles, with Sporting Lisbon has signed a deal until 2027 and will join the club on November 11, 2024. Now we take another quick break. When we return, a quick recap of the top stories. Please stay. Now to end the news, a recap of the top stories. Abia State local government elections have been delayed, leaving voters and ad hoc officials waiting at polling units. In Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated a National Flood, Erosion and Drought Council. On business news today, we brought you highlights from Afia Business Morning Conversations within the week. On the foreign scene, a U.S. Supreme Court has dismissed efforts by Republicans to prevent the counting of provisional ballots. That's the much we have on our bulletin this afternoon. Do well to follow us on all social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I am Ogochukwu Osai. Stay tuned for more updates on Abia local government elections on Eastern Eye Special.
Time check, it's 2 p.m.